Howdy y'all, hope you're having a good day. Silver Trade here again with another video. Berkshire Hathaway off-exchange volume is popping off again, but we'll get into that in just a second. XRT is still at 439% short, didn't change a single percentage from yesterday. And so recently, whenever Berkshire Hathaway fell all the way down to $180 per share, right at the same time, like we talked about yesterday, when GameStop went to $47 per share in the pre-market, all their volume, off-exchange volume, seemed to plummet at the same time too. And it's been pretty low ever since then. And for anybody who doesn't know, here is Berkshire Hathaway's chart for, well, since 2013 until current. And as you can see, it had very low volume, very steady volume, and it was like this for about 50 years. But then all of a sudden, in 2021, January, the volume just absolutely takes off. Right at the exact same time of GameStop and AMC's sneeze. I mean, it's really silly to think that that's a coincidence.
Coincidence? I think not!
But please remember, none of this is financial advice, and this video is made for entertainment purposes only. But yeah, the volume dropped off a hill at one point for Berkshire Hathaway. We made a whole video about it, and it just ticked up again recently. We'll keep an eye on it. GameStop is also following Nvidia the same way that the SPY follows the NASDAQ. I mean, they're heading down, there'll be a spike down, then a pull back, spike down, then a pull back. I mean, it's kind of crazy how much they're tracking each other for two completely separate sectors. I wonder how many stocks GameStop is tied up into. I mean, it's so weird to see it following Nvidia so perfectly, and we know that BRKA, there's something there as well with the volume. And XRT, I mean, there's gotta be more, but who knows. So, Roaring Kitty posted a meme back in the day about you/avocado my anus, and he was probably telling us that this is him on Reddit. And there is a user on Reddit that only posts once a year for Happy Cat Day, everyone. Every year, that's the only day he posts. And he also always would post at 4:20 p.m., so that almost confirms that it was the cat, but obviously we can't be sure. And let's not forget, he did recently say the dog days are over. National Cat Day is coming up too, October 29th, and I know there's always another catalyst or something, but these are all just ideas that people are throwing against the wall and seeing which ones stick. But there's a whole lot of really good stuff going on about GameStop. I mean, CEO Ryan Cohen has actually bought 10% of the company with his own money, doesn't take a salary, and there is a huge cult-like shareholder following. Opportunities like this don't come around every year, but remember, none of this is financial advice. And then this next earnings, I'm very excited to see what they say. I'm not sure what posted this, it kind of looks like the bull, but Roaring Kitty loses thousands of X followers after going silent on his GameStop Chewy. Blah 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 blah, it's a bunch of BS. He still has 1.6 million followers on X. And even just assuming that for every one follower there were two holders, that would still put us at like 3.2 million. I mean, that's just insane. Like, there are so many people with eyeballs on this. The whole idea of him losing a couple thousand on X is a joke. There were a whole lot of people posting their portfolios of computer share today. Figured I would show one. This wasn't even the largest one we saw today. But there are some pretty large shareholders on our side. Today, Jim Cramer said this. Most of the time, whatever he says, you do the exact opposite of, but he does have good points sometimes, very rarely. Pathetic how our much larger, deeper, and more important market is hostage to the hedge funds who are trapped in this hedge fund Japanese carry trade. There are hedge funds linked with all big sell-offs. We find out who they are when they go bust. Like we talked about yesterday, it's just so much cheaper to borrow money in Japan and then take it somewhere else and make a better return on it, and a lot of banks have done it. Probably most of the banks have done it. I mean, that's always kind of been, it makes sense. Warren Buffett now owns more T-bills than the Federal Reserve. That's kind of crazy to think about. Donald Trump, the quote-unquote crypto king. I know a lot of people in crypto aren't huge on him, but he said we're about to shake up the crypto world with something huge. Decentralized finance is the future. Don't get left behind. If he brings something good to the table for crypto, perfect. And homelessness in the USA was the highest ever on record in 2023. In 2024, homeless shelters and services are seeing an uptick in people with jobs who are living in their cars. I mean, this is insane. The housing market has been affecting appliance sales as well because everything's getting more expensive, is what Whirlpool said. The VIX is back above the 5-day moving average, might want to work its way back up. And the dollar has finally broken down through this rising support that it's been riding for about 3 years. Finally breaking down and actually getting comfortable below it. Looks like the dollar is going to move down from here on. GameStop is still looking really good. We haven't heard anything about the left case, and I'm super curious, and I'm checking every day. I really appreciate y'all. God bless you, and have a good one.